Yo, what's up, vinyl community? It is Kendall Stokes coming at you with another video for the Spin Doctor and his Vinyl Mayhem. It is November 12th. It is a Saturday night. It is dark outside, let me tell you. This time change always takes a little while to get used to. But everyone's gone except for Sarah, my 4-year-old. She's asleep, so I figured, you know what? Now it's probably going to be as good a time as any to try to knock one of these videos out. It's been about a week and a half since I've done one. And it's been a while since I've done one of these where I've just kind of shot through a bunch of stuff that I've gotten over the last, this stack is probably over the last 2.5, 3 months, maybe even longer. Just the stuff that I've gotten that I haven't talked about or whatever. And this is stuff that I've picked up from anywhere from Noble, Lunchbox, Record Bar, Plaid Room Records, online, even Target. Just a huge mix of stuff. So we got stuff from rock, jazz, a little bit of punk even, which I don't talk about a lot of. So let's just get into it, and I'll show you some stuff that I've been listening to, and picked up that I really like. So let's start off with a little bit of jazz. Blue Note Tone Poet. Picked this up when it came out. Really enjoy it. The Kenny Burrell Blue Note 1543. Anytime Blue Note do these tone poets, they're great. We all know that. I'm a huge Kenny Burrell fan. This one sounds fantastic. It's in mono. This is a great record. Andy Warhol, of course, did this artwork. Like I said, just a great sounding record. Originals of these are, of course, hard to find, but outstanding. Super excited to add this to the collection. If you're a jazz fan, if you're a guitar fan, I think it's a must-have to add to your collection. Sounds great. I'm sure most of you know that as I've gotten into jazz, John Coltrane is somebody that I've become a fan of. The Tone Poet that came out, I just fell in love with, and it's probably my favorite jazz record. And Plaid Room Records out in Ohio, if you haven't gone to their website, they are a great record store, and they always have deals. And a couple of months ago, they were running a special in store but also online. I think it was like 25% off maybe. I don't even remember, but they were having a big sale, and so I was like, okay, I'm gonna jump on some stuff that I've been wanting to get, and this was one of them. John Coltrane Quartet Ballads. This is the Acoustic Sounds Verve series. This record, man, it's it's the Impulse, but it's the Acoustic Sounds. And this record, man, sounds so flippin' good. Probably, as of right now, my second favorite John Coltrane record to the Blue Note Tone Poet. This one is just so stinking good. Just got that nice, relax. I don't drink, but if I did, this would be one that I'd probably sit back in my nice comfy chair in the dark with a bottle of scotch or whiskey and just, just sit back with my eyes closed. Which is, that's technically what I do anyway. When I listen to jazz, I just turn down the lights and just sit in my chair, lift up my feet, and just close my eyes and just kind of nod my head. I don't drink, but, that's what I do, though. I just sit back and I just, so good. This record is amazing, and to get it at the discount price I did with that sale from Plaid Room Records, so awesome. Because this isn't exactly a cheap record, but to get it for the price I did, super excited. Love this record. So glad to add it to my collection. if you are getting into jazz and getting into John Coltrane, I would suggest this record. Definitely. This one I picked up at Noble. Oh, man, 2 months back maybe. This was when all the hype was going on. Man, I got a lot of jazz in my first little section here. That was not intentional. I just grabbed a bunch of records. But I picked this one up at Noble. This was right after Acoustic Sounds released the 45 RPM of Kind of Blue. You know, it's a record I didn't have, but I did not want to spend $150 because, you know, I'm on a budget here. So I went ahead and I just picked up one of the RTI Columbia reissues that came out in like 2010 maybe for like $20. You know, still sounds good. You know, I don't have an audio file set up and all that kind of stuff. I just want a good sounding record, and that's what this is. You know, it's you know, it's on the Columbia label. It's a legacy pressing, all that kind of stuff. It sounds fine, but I mean, any jazz collection isn't complete, obviously, without this record. It's a great record. It's got some of the best jazz musicians on it, so it's definitely one that you have to have. You know, anytime you have Miles Davis or John Coltrane or Bill Evans on a record, it's going to sound amazing, I think. So, you know, had to finally add it to my collection. Like I said, I honestly picked this up months ago and I just haven't shown it. And like I said, I don't need a $150 record to listen to good jazz. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure that record, the 45 RPM from the UHQR sounds amazing. I'd love to hear it, but I can't afford that, you know. So anyway, was happy to get this from Dylan at Noble. So anyway, got that. This one, again, another jazz record. I think this is my last one in the pile, but Grant Green, Feeling the Spirit. I picked this one up the same time I picked up the Other Tone Poet, the Kenny Burrell. And I thought for sure that I would like the Kenny Burrell better because of the two, he's probably my favorite jazz guitarist. But I actually like this record better. I don't know if it's just because this one's just got a little bit more of a flow to it. You know, Herbie Hancock's on this, which is amazing. I love Herbie Hancock. Great. Probably, I mean, Bill Evans is probably my favorite jazz pianist, but Herbie Hancock is more diverse, I think, in his piano playing. So that may be one of the reasons why I like him. He's just unique and just diverse. But you know, this has a lot of I guess you'd say religious songs on it, and so it's very uplifting. Just a great listen. Really enjoying this. It's a fun listen. You know, Just a Closer Walk with Thee, Joshua Fit the Battle of Jericho, Nobody Knows the Trouble I've Seen. You know, just some good stuff. Really good. So happy to add this one to the collection as well. Maybe so far my favorite Grant Green I've added to the collection in the Blue Note series. So really good. This one, okay, so if you watched my last video about the Revolver, you know, I talked about how I went and I picked up an order, and that's when I saw the Revolver box set. Well, the order I picked up because I had ordered 3 records online, and one of them was this record here, Chris Isaak, San Francisco Days. It's another RSD Essential on the Sun label. Blue. That's not blue, that's red. I'm not Jim Carrey and Liar Liar. This pen is blue. Anyway, but it's on the Sun label. I'm really loving these RSD Essential Chris Isaak releases. You know, Chris Isaak, I think is a very underrated artist. He didn't have a lot of stuff that came out on vinyl, like his first few records did, and then he had records that did in like the UK and some other countries. Like this one never saw a US release. It did in the UK and like, you know, Brazil and I think South American countries and stuff like that, but never in America. So finding this on vinyl is almost impossible. So very happy to see this get a vinyl release. So very happy to have this. I hope they keep doing more of his stuff because I'm just a huge fan of his. I think it sounds good. Really digging it. This is a great record. It's got a great cover of Solitary Man by Neil Diamond on it. But, you know, some great tracks on this are obviously San Francisco Days. Really like Except the New Girl. Two Hearts is another good one. Can't Do a Thing to Stop Me. Just a great record. This was the record that came out right after Heart-Shaped Box, obviously, which was a huge success. And so this came out years after that, but when this came out, they released Wicked Game as a single, and so it kind of just, you know, anyway. Great record. If you haven't picked it up yet, I would suggest it because these RSD essentials tend to go quickly. So, yeah, love it. This is one I picked up a while ago from Noble. Just a nice $5 find. The Impressions Greatest Hits. You know, nothing special here. This is on the ABC label. You know, The Impressions. Curtis Mayfield's band. You know, keep on pushing. It's all right. I'm So Proud. Gypsy Woman. Just some really good 60s. This wasn't Motown, so I'm not going to call it Motown, but you know, just that soulful, just good, you know, good stuff. Just, you know, great music. Couldn't pass that up for $5, so love it. This is something I got from a buddy of mine, Doug Osbury. I've talked about him before. Big Love Vinyl. Check out his website. He's blowing out. Got a great sale going on. Always got good stuff on his website at great prices. Check it out, biglovevinyl.com. Picked this up from him. I've been trying to purge down my collection and only getting stuff. Like I saw that I had so much stuff that I really wasn't listening to, like full albums, and I'd go, you know what, I'm good having a greatest hits of that band instead of, you know, 5 albums where I'm really not listening to the whole albums. And this was one of those bands where I'm like, let me just get a greatest hits. And so I picked this up from him. Bad Company. You know, Paul Rodgers to me is one of the greatest rock and roll lead vocalists of all time. Bad Company is a great band, but some of their albums I think are very so-so, and their first 2 albums I think are the best. But they have a lot of great songs that aren't on those first 2 albums, but they're on this. And so I was like, I'm good with the greatest hits album. And so this is on that Atlantic label. Very good copy, very clean. Every song on here is great. Very happy to have it. Thank you, Doug. Happy to have this. This I also got from Doug. He found it and he showed it to me. He said, hey, have you ever seen this? I said, no. This is called Chicago. This is well, it doesn't really have a name actually. It's just it says Chicago. These songs were recorded in 1969. This is a bootleg, live in 1969. It's an encore product. MD Records is what the label shows. It's just a bootleg. It was sealed. Came out in 1982, and basically, like I said, it's a bootleg from a show in 1969, which to me is like prime Chicago time. The songs on here are Questions 67 and 68, Liberation, I'm a Man, Purples 25 or 64, Does Anybody Really Know What Time It Is, and Beginnings. That right there just tells you it's a smoking show. And now, obviously, anytime you get a bootleg, you're always a little bit concerned about the quality. The quality on this thing is actually really, really good. And, oh my gosh, Terry is just freaking lighting it up on guitar. Talk about someone gone too soon. He was just gone too soon. One of the most underrated guitar players of all time. To me, the first two Chicago albums are just masterpieces, and I love them. Lindsay, I'm getting her to come around to the first two Chicago albums, which basically, obviously, that's what these songs are from. This is actually a really awesome bootleg. Very happy to have it. Doug gave me a great deal on it. If you can find this bootleg, pick it up. It's actually a really good sound quality. Sounds good. Very happy to have this. Doug, thank you. It's really cool. Chicago bootlegs are probably something that most people wouldn't think, oh, I want a Chicago bootleg, because most people are after the Led Zeppelin bootlegs, the Beatles bootlegs, the Pink Floyd bootlegs, or the Bruce Springsteen bootlegs or whatever. Not so many people after the Chicago bootlegs. But that's a cool one. This right here, picked up at Noble Records. 2 Saturdays ago was my wife Lindsay and I's wedding anniversary. We went out to dinner, went to a couple of thrift stores, stopped by Noble Records. Dylan was gone, but my buddy Ashley was there. And Lindsay had told me that she wanted a copy of Jefferson Airplane's Surrealistic Pillow. She been wanting to kind of get into some more of that kind of music. And we had found a copy at this one place where I thought they really wanted way too much money for it. It was an original copy, but I just thought they wanted too much for it for the quality it was in. Dylan actually had a copy, and this is a 70s pressing. And I had heard people say that there's really not a good pressing of that record. Even I've heard people say even the MoFi is not a good pressing of that record. I don't really know a ton of stuff like that. I couldn't tell you. This is a 77 or 78 pressing. It's on the RCA Victor Black Label. It's very clean. Got it for a good price, so I wasn't complaining. Sounds good. I'm happy with it. I mean, this is what came out in 67, I think. So, the quality is going to be whatever it is. But, this is a classic album. It's one you need to have in your collection, I think. So, needed to add it. Lindsay wanted it. We ended up buying it on our anniversary. Just a great record with great classic songs. I didn't realize until I really did some more research on this record how much Jerry Garcia was involved in this record. Now, obviously, there's somewhat skepticism on how much involvement he really had in it, but he was involved, so that's always cool. But great record. Need to add it to your collection if you don't. There's so much more to it than White Rabbit and Somebody to Love, though. So check it out. It's a great record if you don't have it. This was another one of the records that I actually picked up at Lunchbox that I ordered. There's a story behind it, but Mr. Big, Lean Into It. This is actually from Record Store Day Black Friday, so it's the red label. I'm actually a huge Mr. Big fan. I didn't really have any other stuff. I didn't pick this up on Black Friday just because there was so much other stuff I wanted at the time. Lunchbox had a bunch of these left over, and they still actually do. But I didn't realize Lindsay liked them. She wasn't as familiar with some other stuff, but there was one song on here that she really liked. And yes, it's the ballad. It's To Be With You. But that was almost our wedding song. But there was a story behind the song that I forgot that we had talked about, that she, I don't want to get all sentimental here, but, she came from a broken marriage before, and there's a line in the song that Eric Martin wrote, which, by the way, he wrote that song when he was like 16 years old, and that guy still has a great voice at like 63. Very impressive. He says, "I can be the one to make you smile." And I remember her distinctively telling me when we were dating that her sister, who she was living with at the time, because she had just moved from Oregon down to here with her 2 older daughters, which, by the way, yesterday was Marissa, my oldest stepdaughter's birthday. She just turned 18. But that her sister said, you're starting to smile again. And she said, yeah, it's because of me, which anyway. And so that line in the song made me think of that. And so anyway. But so that song kind of has a place in her heart. And so anyway, the song kind of is kind of our song to go along with some other stuff. But anyway, so I picked this up. That story kind of went nowhere. I'm sorry. but I picked it up, and reading the hype sticker, it's kind of weird. It says 30th anniversary LP reproduced using original analog master tapes. The reproduce thing's just kind of weird. It doesn't say mastered from the analog. It just says reproduced using the original. So who knows what they did with the original? Didn't say cut, it just says reproduced. Whatever that means. 5,000 copies individually numbered. Okay. It's on red vinyl. Anyway, this is a great record. The first album was supposed to come out this Black Friday, but it got pushed. So we'll have to wait on that one. This was the other record that I picked up in the order as well. And it's Me First and the Gimme Gimmes. This is Take a Break. Now, if you don't know Me First and the Gimme Gimmes, I don't know a ton about them. Lindsay could tell you tons about them. They are a punk cover band made up of a bunch of members of other punk bands from the 80s and 90s from Southern California. The reason I picked this up is because we picked this one, which is, what's this one called? Are We Not Men, We Are Diva. We picked this one up that same Saturday that we picked up Surrealistic Pillow on our anniversary. So I got to show you this one actually, real quick. This one came out before this one, but well, hold on. so this one, anyway, Me First and the Gimme Gimmes. If you don't know them, like I said, they're a punk band made up of a bunch of members of other punk bands doing punk versions of a lot of popular songs. Like this one has I Will Survive, Straight Up, Believe, Beautiful, My Heart Will Go On, I Will Always Love You, Top of the World, Speechless, Karma Chameleon, Crazy for You, On the Radio, The Way We Were. So they take popular songs from other genres and they punkify them, I guess you would say. So she saw this one and was like so excited. And that was part of our anniversary date, and we picked it up and all that stuff. The cool thing about this one is the way this vinyl looks, because seeing this spin on the table will mess with your eyes. So imagine if you were high and listening to this and watch it spin. It would really mess with your eyes. That is some cool looking, that's some cool looking vinyl right there. Imagine that spinning. Anyway, pick this up at Noble. Plays great, sounds great. Lindsay has been listening to Me First and the Gimme Gimmes, I think, since their inception. I had never really gotten into them. Didn't really know much about. I don't even think I had actually heard of them until her. But I'd never really given them a chance. She had always wanted me to. I just never did. Anyway, so I picked this up, or we picked this up, and then I had known that I had wanted to get the Chris Isaak record at Lunchbox, and so when I was looking at that record at Lunchbox, I looked up more Me First and the Gimme Gimmes, and I saw that they had this record, so I ordered this one as well. And this one has, when she saw that they had this one, she said, "You got to get that too." So I added this to the cart, and I completed my order. This one has "Where Do Broken Hearts Go," "Hello," "End of the Road," "Ain't No Sunshine," "Nothing Compares to You," "Crazy," "Isn't She Lovely," "I Believe I Can Fly," "Oh Girl," "I'll Be There," "Mona Lisa," "Save the Best for Last," and "Natural Woman." Anyway, if you haven't checked out Me First and the Gimme Gimmes, they actually are pretty entertaining. I don't know enough about the bands. Like, I know the guy from NoFX is in here. I know I'm going brain dead on names all of a sudden, and I feel terrible about it, especially since Chris Shiflett from Foo Fighters used to be in Me First and the Gimme Gimmes. He left in like 2017. But yeah. Anyway, yeah, they're pretty entertaining. This video is getting long. Holy crap! I picked this record up at Target a long time ago. Forgot I even had it. This is She and Him. This was their tribute to Brian Wilson, so it has nothing but Beach Boys and Brian Wilson songs. It's called Melt Away, a tribute to Brian Wilson. It's on the Olive Green label. It actually sounds pretty good. She and Him is Zoe Deschanel, and I can't remember the guy's name. It's very artsy, folksy sounding. Really like it. Lindsay really likes it as well. If you haven't looked them up, or if you don't know them, look them up. Very laid back sounding. Very, very cool. I don't know really how to describe them, but very good stuff. If you're a fan of the Beach Boys as well, I think you might like this too. But yeah, I picked that up at Target months and months ago. Just forgot I had it. Now this one has a soft spot in my heart, and there's going to be another story involved. I, of course, go to the record bar quite often. Every Thursday night I watch their videos. And this was on their video a couple weeks ago. And as soon as I saw it, I was thrown back to my childhood. And this is Marty Robbins' Biggest Hits. And this has a soft spot in my heart because it took me back to when I was about 10 years old. And I was riding in a white International cab over with my dad, listening to a cassette tape of Marty Robbins, this exact album, listening to El Paso or Ribbon of Darkness or You Gave Me a Mountain, which are all on this album. My dad had this exact cassette tape. Marty Robbins is by far my dad's favorite singer of all time, followed closely by Johnny Cash. And when I saw this record, they had for just $5, I knew I had to have it because Marty Robbins will always have a soft place in my heart because of my dad. So Dad, I know you're probably watching. I bought this because of you. I just had to have this record specifically because of this cover, this album specifically. It reminds me of you being a kid riding in that truck, that white cab over, and then that Columbia, or not the Columbia, that Freightliner that you bought afterwards. Just riding in that big truck, listening to those cassette tapes. This one specifically. My love of Marty Robbins goes to you. And now Lindsay actually listens to Marty Robbins too. But Marty Robbins, one of the greatest, not just country vocalists, but vocalists of all time, I think. Just amazing singer. A lot of great hits, especially on this one. This is this one's called his Biggest Hits, which, I mean, there's plenty of stuff on here that, there's better stuff that could have been on here, but I mean, there's good ones on here. Ribbon of Darkness, El Paso, You Gave Me a Mountain, She's Just a Drifter, but there's so much more that could have been on here too. He has so many great songs, and this is just only some. Two more records and then we're done. I picked this up when it came out, but it's been a while. This is the new Pink Floyd Animals remix. sounds amazing. I was never really the most familiar with this record, but I knew when this one came out, I'm like, okay, this is the one I need to get. I know people have had issues with their copies. This one actually sounds really good. I think I got pretty lucky. So I was glad I picked it up. Again, got this when it first came out, so obviously it's been out a while. Really happy with it. Great sounding album. Again, not one that I was so familiar with, but very happy to have it. You know, Pink Floyd's just a great band to begin with, so very happy to have this one. Just so open, so clear, just very, very cool, and very, very cool looking cover with the whole updated version of it too. Very happy to have it. And then lastly, I talked about Plaid Room Records. I said that I ordered something with that discount, the sale they were having. A little early for it, but when I saw it was on sale, I had to go ahead and get it. This is again the Acoustic Sound series. Ella Wishes You a Swingin' Christmas. By far one of the best Christmas albums of all time. Ella Fitzgerald, one of the greatest female vocalists. Just, amazing jazz vocalist. Just so good. And Christmas album, just so good. Jingle Bell, Santa Claus is Coming to Town, Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, Sleigh Ride, the Christmas song. Just so good. Just had to have it for Christmas. Like I said, I ordered this months ago, and I knew it was before Christmas, but at the price, I couldn't resist. So very, very happy to get this in before Christmas. Like I said, I got it a while ago. Been waiting for Christmas to come around so I can play it. Like I said, I had to have it. So very, very excited to have it. And like I said, just in time for Christmas. So that's what I got for you guys today. This was a long one. But wanted to show you guys what I've been getting. And thanks for bearing with me. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you would, if you don't mind, you don't have to. But, like and subscribe. Leave me some comments. And, maybe I'll see you on the next video. And maybe I'll see you guys out there doing some digging. See you Black Friday, maybe. I'll be at the Record Bar in a couple of weeks. I'm hoping to get another video in before Black Friday. If not, maybe my next video will be the stuff I got for Black Friday. Be safe and peace.